Hello, everyone, and welcome to Women of Woodworking Wednesdays. I'm going to wait just a few seconds and give some folks a minute to join us. So, hope everyone's been doing well out there. Let's see. But yes, this live is every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Hello and welcome. So yes, I think this is probably the fourth live stream I've done for Women of Woodworking Wednesday. So it's amazing how these weeks are flying by. But yes, I'm here every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. and you never know who is going to join me. I have been totally running and gunning with it and just letting whoever wants to volunteer to join in on the chat for a live interview kind of off the cuff. um, I've actually had quite a few brave souls, at least like one or two every episode. So it's neat. You never know who's going to drop in. So that's been lots of fun. But now that it seems like we're rolling a little bit, I'll go ahead and get started. So, like I said, I'm here every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. You can also join me on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays with my husband Joseph over at JWT Woodworks, and we do a furniture making live stream Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. That's at 2 p.m. Eastern. And then these and those furniture making live streams are recorded and added to YouTube afterwards. So you can always go back and reference something if you forgot something or have a question. And then also, Mary May is still doing her daily wood carving live stream for free over on Twitch. She also saves all of her previous episodes too, so you can go back and watch her there. So lots of live streaming going on. I was listening to something before I got started tonight. There just seems to be a lot of internet content out there, but fortunately, that means some of the greats are putting some of their stuff out there. So definitely jump on it and be sure to take advantage of all this free woodworking lessons going on. So hello, welcome, welcome. Seeing lots of names I recognize. Hello. All right. Hey, Joe. So, um, speaking of the YouTube channel, I have started a new Women of Woodworking YouTube channel. Before, I just had my own personal one, and then Joseph had his as well. So now, if you go on YouTube, search Women of Woodworking, we should pop up. I posted actually last week's live stream is the first video up there with 727 builds. Hi, Sandra. Um, so you can go up there and catch up on last week's live stream if you need to, and then this one will also be added. So from here on out, you'll be able to catch the live streams afterwards there, and hopefully I'll have some other exciting um, video content coming soon. So hello, hey Andrew, hello, hello Mass Project. So I recognize a lot of y'all, but please don't hesitate to say hello and where you're from and what's going on in your shop right now. Um, we actually, like I said, we do a furniture making live stream 3 days a week. We were doing it 5 days a week, and we had to cut it down, unfortunately. I had a lot of stuff going on, but there's lots of stuff happening, so and more stuff going on in this direction. So I'm really excited about that. Um, some other changes that are going to be happening to the series. So since 2015, whenever I started this series, it started out with a series of questions and interviews with different women woodworkers from around the world. And they would send in pictures, and I'd write a long form article and share it to my website, which is ktthompson.com. So on there, that's the home of Women of Woodworking. That's where all the essays are. That's kind of the landing page, links to Instagram, all of that good stuff is. It does need to be updated. Um, However, moving forward, I'm going to be moving the written series to a website called Medium, which some of you may already be familiar with. It's pretty awesome. But basically, it's a platform for writers to be able to put their work out there and kind of gain a little bit of extra exposure than you would normally gain on your blog or your website. So hopefully, this move will allow me to make a little bit of revenue so I can do some more things with the project, but then also really expand my audience and share your stories even farther and wider. So I have started Women of Woodworking as a publication on Medium. So if you go on Medium and search for Women of Woodworking now, there's not any stories added to it. I have some in progress, but if you go on Medium and search for Women of Woodworking, make sure you subscribe to that publication and you'll see my profile and everything. So that's where the written articles will be from here on out. And like I said, I am working on some new ones. If you would like to be featured or have any suggestions or know someone that you think would be a good fit, please get in touch. Now that I have found a viable way for me to continue to do those long form articles, I'm going to keep doing them, and I would like to do them as frequently as possible, just to share as many stories as possible. And like I've said before, this project is not really, it's non-discriminatory for sure. I mean, I want students, I want hobbyists, I want the masters, I want everyone, whether or not you're working in your parents' garage or, in your own shop of 20 years. I want to share these stories, and I'm excited at what a new platform may possibly bring this project. So that is exciting. And speaking on how to get featured, and I went over this last week, there's a lot of different ways that you can be involved in the project. And one is obviously by going and reading and sharing articles. That is free and easy to do, and that just helps out so much, especially for the makers that I feature. So getting their work seen by more eyes is always helpful. But a guaranteed way for me to see your work is to use the Women of Woodworking hashtag. I check it pretty much daily, if not multiple times a day. I also check some of the other related hashtags. Sorry, I gotta grab my drink. But the Women of Woodworking hashtag is one that I check pretty religiously. So that is a guaranteed way to get me to see your work. And like I said, the written features, get in touch if you're interested. Um, those, they take a little bit more work. So I try to be selective and obviously choose people that I want to feature and share their story, but also it does take a little bit of work on your part, as far as just answering 4 or 5 short questions and submitting photos. So as long as we can get that done, I'm able to kind of go from there. So if you're up for that, get in touch. And like I said, I'm looking for all women, non-binary, transgender woodworkers, queer woodworkers. I want to tell everybody's story, and we're non-discriminatory. So please get in touch. Um, as I was prepping for tonight's live, I was thinking, wow, I feel like it's been kind of quiet. Everyone's not really, there's a few people out there kind of sharing content, but I felt like I wasn't really seeing a whole lot of new stuff going on. And I am pleasantly, surprised to say that I was wrong. I kind of sat down for a couple hours this afternoon and caught up on some podcasts and blogs and different stuff like that. And I'm really amazed by the amount of women out there in the craft working now, sharing each other's stories, really empowering each other. Not that that was something that wasn't happening before, but when I started this project, it obviously wasn't very visible. And now to see some of the women that I have a lot of respect for and really admire their work and their work ethic and kind of how they go about their craft, it's awesome to see a lot of them getting some attention and also uplifting others. So actually, right before I started the live, I was listening to the Modern Woodworkers Association podcast. And I don't know if any of y'all follow them or listen to them, but you can find them on iTunes on podcasts. And I think the one this past week was like the 292nd episode. So there's lots of stuff that you can go back and listen to. And those guys are hilarious. But I was also listening because they featured Leslie Webb of Heartwood Tools this past weekend. And I'm a big fan of Leslie. Have been Instagram friends with her for years and have lots of friends of friends. One of these days, I hope to meet her in person and maybe add a piece of hers to my collection. But I their podcast is always just so funny and laid back and kind of easy listening. I mean, they talk about what beer they're drinking in the podcast, and it's just a lot of fun. And so go give it a listen. I I love hearing and seeing all these different posts about the HNT Gordon Vice. I can tell that is just like what everybody has been like oohing and eyeing and saving up their pennies for. So it was funny to hear everyone kind of talking about it on there too. So that seems to be the popular item. But some other great brands that Leslie is carrying, Toolworks. I think she is carrying a few of Sterling Toolworks items. They're just, it's top quality. And I have not only a lot of respect for what Leslie does as a designer and artist and furniture maker, but what she's doing is with these tools is and this business as a distributor is just it's we've spent quite a bit of money with her for birthdays and holidays lately. So so go check that out again. That's Heartwood Tools. And then Leslie's personal account is Leslie Web Design. So definitely go give her a follow. She was one of the first interviews I did too. So if you go to my website, you can go back and kind of see what her progression has been over the years from 2015 to now. Just super talented maker. So speaking of another superwoman in the craft, I don't think it's any surprise that Nancy Hiller is absolutely killing it on the Lost Art Press blog, and I know I don't have to tell any of y'all to go read that blog because I know they have a lot of great content coming out every day. But I just really wanted to highlight the work that Nancy's doing and the articles that she's writing. Um, just a handful of the ones she's done recently. She featured Kate Swan of the Florida School of Woodwork, who I had the pleasure of chatting with a couple episodes ago on here. Kate has started the school down there in Tampa and is doing some really awesome stuff down there and has some really great ideas and has brought some really talented folks in as well. So if you're interested in taking some woodworking classes or kind of traveling a little bit, or if you live in Tampa or Florida, definitely check them out. But Nancy did just her articles are just so fabulous. She just tells such a great story about each of the people that she interviews, and she really gets in there. And I am grateful to Chris Schwartz and Lost Art Press for allowing someone to really dig in there as a writer and provide the platform for that. Another interview that Nancy did recently that I absolutely adored was again with Aspen Golan. She is just like the sweetheart of the woodworking community right now, and rightfully so. And that was just another great piece that I enjoyed seeing. Um, there was also even the Barbie workshop interview, which I kind of have some thoughts on that. I don't know if any of y'all have heard about the Barbie workshop, Barbie wood shop, excuse me. Let me pull it up here on Instagram, um, at Barbie Woodshop. It says it's a father and daughter project that is getting out of hand. So it looks like to me that Barbie is kind of going around and doing some serious woodworking. But I mean, go and check it out. These pictures are like, I mean, they have the handworks, miniature handworks poster, like it just the detail in these things. It's like, man. So um, definitely go check it out and I liked Nancy's little interview with that. I thought that was fun, a good lighthearted side of things. But then also, as we all know, Nancy is such a fantastic maker herself. Um, there's a profile of her by Kara Ohl also on there. So definitely go check out Lost Art Press blog right now. There's just some amazing stories of women being shared on there, and I just wanted to give them like the biggest two thumbs up because I loved getting on there and seeing all of the women and the stories about women being shared on there. So that was really cool. Um, back to kind of virtual classes and also Kate with the Florida School of Woodworking. Mary May is doing actually a virtual carving class with the Florida School of Woodworking coming up April 25th through May 1st, I think are the dates. So go check out their website. It's a great price. to get a lot of one-on-one time with Mary. And I'm really interested to see how these virtual classes work out for people. I have been doing virtual work for quite a while. Um, if anything, I've kind of made a career off of bringing other industries and clients into the digital age. My whole career has been spent working with people like produce farmers and healthcare companies and things like that, and just kind of getting a digital presence established and doing digital marketing and things like that. So I've been very much virtually, interacting and in tune with what's been going on. So I love seeing that almost immediately the woodworking community is responding and are offering virtual classes and are offering all this one-on-one and really in-depth educational opportunities that otherwise, if you wanted to take a class with Mary, yes, you could do. She has an online school with lots of videos, and those are all fantastic. Or you could travel to go see Mary in person and spend a lot of money and pay a school fee and do all of that. Or you have this awesome opportunity to just set up in your garage or your shop every day, flick on your phone, and bam, Mary is right there, and you're talking to her. She's showing you what to do, and I'm really impressed by Kate. Um, Taking on all these opportunities and taking advantage of these new platforms out there. So um, I know I've been talking a little bit, and I know I've got some new joiners. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining. Also, I just want to put it out there because I do it every week. If you're interested in joining me for a live interview, kind of one-on-one, send in a request so we can see what you're working on, or just have a chat. All are welcome. So I don't pre-plan any guests. Maybe I should start trying to pre-plan a guest. I know it's hard to put people on the spot. Not everyone likes to run their mouth like me. So, but if you are interested, let me know, and I'll send you a request, or you send a request to um, join in. But anyways, back to the virtual learning opportunities. So Kate is doing this class with Mary May. Kate is also doing two other classes. She is doing a virtual bandsaw tuning course with Michael Fortune through the Florida School of Woodwork. So that is a great opportunity if you have a bandsaw and want to learn a little bit more about how to tune it up. Again, you can just pop it up on your phone, have it right there at your bandsaw in your shop, and bam, you have Michael Fortune helping you tune your bandsaw. And there's also a class to do to build a T-rack with Phil Morley, which would be a great opportunity too. So if you had the capability to do that, that would be a lot of fun. And I've seen a lot of T-racks and spice racks and things like that. I can tell people are at home and spending a lot of time at home and trying to like get organized, because I feel like I've seen just like a lot of again, spice racks and things like that popping up on the feed, which, hey, I mean, please, I need one, and I'm so if anybody has one up for donation, let me know. Um, but again, talking about the virtual classes and how this is going to affect everything, in general, a lot of people on the news are saying there's no going back to normal. Normal as we know it or knew it is gone. And of course, they're referencing that on like a larger scale as far as business and how those sorts of things go in our society. Um, I'm very interested in how this is going to affect not just the educational system as a whole, but also how it's going to affect how we do woodworking education um, and schools. There are so many fantastic schools out there all around the world. It's been great to have a platform like Instagram that we can connect with all of them and see what all of their students are doing and really get behind the scenes there. And also provide the schools a platform to share student work and their exhibitions and things like that. I think that relationship has really blossomed between, I don't want to say the consumer, but the school and the student and the potential student. I've enjoyed seeing that kind of develop over Instagram. But as far as how we're going to move forward, as far as learning woodworking, teaching woodworking, is this going to be the new standard, and how can we make the most out of it? I'd love to hear your feedback. I'd love to hear your thoughts. So send me a DM, send a message, whatever you want to do. I'm kind of thinking about sharing a little bit more on this, maybe in an article or something. And if you are a woodworking student, or if you know a woodworking student, or if you're a woodworking instructor, I'd like to hear from you. How is this affecting your schedule? If you manage a school, how is this affecting school? It's pretty much shut down. What are the plans for the future? What are kind of I know there's a lot up in the air right now, and we don't know even what this fall will look like. How are we planning on moving forward, considering that, not knowing we don't have all of the information? How do we keep doing what we love to do and teaching that to others? And how do we keep educating those that are interested in that information? Um, I feel like when you make big transitions like we've had to make swiftly, it's easy for a lot of things to fall through the cracks. So I would just love to hear how it's affected you. How has it affected your school year? How has it affected your business? Has your phone stopped ringing as much? Are you obviously not going to as many conferences? Have you had shows canceled? Have you had markets canceled? I know there's a lot of makers that depend on traveling for their business all year round. How are you having to adjust and adapt? Are you making new products? Are you suddenly becoming very online, as we like to say? And I also run into this a lot of times with my students and clients. Is a lot of people are on the cusp of starting their own business, or have been thinking about starting their own business for a long time and just got into it right when this happened, or we're right on the edge of it. Has that affected your decision to continue with that and to continue to start your own business, or are you kind of holding off? um, I'm really interested in hearing how we're making decisions around our businesses and education as an industry right now. um, yes, we can do a lot of online classes and a lot of online content and connect that way. Um, but there's no doubt, woodworking is a very tactile craft. I mean, there's so much you can only do, through a phone, and you have to kind of be there in person. So I'm very interested in starting a conversation about how we're going to bridge that gap and making that a positive thing for everyone. And just try to help us all work through it. So, um, yeah. So if you have any thoughts on that, send me a message, send me a DM, email, whatever you prefer. If you have a lot of thoughts, give yourself more room. I'm wordy. I'm, I'm wordy. So, and I see that we've got some more new joiners. So if any of y'all are interested in joining me for a conversation, I'd be delighted to bring you in for a chat this evening. So, kind of next up on my schedule here is the weekly trivia question. So last week's trivia question was, what percent of living artists, or percentage of living artists represented by galleries in Europe and North America are women? And your possible answers were A, 13.7%, B, 28.4%, or C, 46.5%. Now, I ended up having two winners. I got to do a better job of promoting the trivia question week to week. Um, penultimate workshop. I'm so sorry, Diami. I cannot pronounce that. Penultimate workshop, woodshop, and OAX constructions. You both gave me the right answer of A, 13.7%, which is super sad. But you're both winners. And so actually what I'm working on right now are some fun stickers. So once those are ready, I'll make sure that the winners get those. I see that OAX Constructions is in Berlin, so that's super exciting to be worldwide. We'll have some stickers going worldwide. But that statistic I got from the National Museum of Women's in the Arts. They are a great resource to follow for statistics. So um, that is where I found that information. So I have this week's question. If you're interested in participating, you can like post your answer up here, or send a DM. I'll try to do a post about it this week, so maybe some more people will participate. But the question for this week is, how many women made the list of the top 100 most expensive artists of all time? And your potential answers were A, 2, B, 7, or C, 20. So again, that's how many women made the list of the top 100 most expensive artists of all time. So share your answer, and if you give me the right answer, you're entered into a drawing. Since last week was kind of slim pickings, that's why we had 2 winners. So hey, send it in. You never know. I might be feeling generous once I get these new stickers and then just like send them out. So yes, so that's this week's trivia question. And I'm excited to hear what your answers are and what y'all think. So yeah. But that was all I really had for this evening. I always kind of allow a little bit extra time in case we have somebody join in, but we might not have any live joiners this evening, which is fine. Um, Again, it's kind of hard to get people off the cuff in here. Not everybody is comfortable being on camera. So I'll give it just a few minutes. If y'all have any questions of me or anything kind of you've seen in the series, um, just a general woodworking question, I may not know the answer, but I might be able to point you in the right direction. Um, Feel free. I'll hang out for a few more minutes and see if y'all have any questions or anything else you want to add. And really, again, just a reminder, we're here every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. And these are also shared to our new YouTube channel, Women of Woodworking. So be sure to like and subscribe. I don't know if any of y'all watch a lot of YouTube videos, but it's like, oh, I have to say that stuff now. But hey, I mean, you've got to remind people. So yes, every Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern here, and also on YouTube. And then you can also catch me Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I kind of moderate and produce my husband Joseph's furniture making live stream, and we do a Q&A on Wednesdays, so I do actually like show my face there once a week. Um, but we just did a Q&A again, and it's actually live now on YouTube now, so you can go and watch that today. We talked a lot about chairs. Um, Joseph is very passionate about making chairs, and it's actually personal for me because I am a part-time wheelchair user. Believe it or not, I don't talk about a whole lot on the project because it's not really relevant, but I am physically disabled, and so I do use a wheelchair. So that being said, the fact that my husband is very preoccupied with seating, and then also I am as well, it's kind of worked for our marriage. So today we talked a lot about chairs and why chairs, why are chairs so important to us, um, and we didn't even get into it, but just like culturally, how different chairs and seating is around the world, and we've read a good bit and studied quite a bit, and try to put a lot of thought into our designs. And so it's been really interesting to watch Joseph come up. He has a new rocking stool design he's working on right now that doesn't have a back. So um, I joke that I like woodworking. I like to make wood do what it's not supposed to do. I like to steam bend and do things like that. Um, and Joseph is very traditional, loves to do everything by hand, and does pretty much as he can with hand tools as possible. But it's not lost on me that he is making like a rocking stool, which is kind of, it's when you look at it, it's very utilitarian. But it kind of goes against the traditional notion of what a chair or a seat should be, especially by today's standards. I mean, like I'm sitting on a couch here, and couches now are made just like super wide and aren't. Anyways, I could go into that for a while, but yeah, I like that he's kind of going for a funkier, kind of off the beaten path um, project here with the rocking stool. So yeah, go check that out. Um, And he's using some black walnut, which is always nice to be working with and to have it. I love the way that smells whenever it's being milled in the shop. So yes. So I'll look and see. Any other questions? Anybody else? Kind of, I know I've been running my mouth for a long time already, but like I said, I was pleasantly surprised to be proven wrong. There are a lot of things going on, even still now, with women in the craft right now. Um, so yeah, and I'm here again every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Sorry, I keep looking at my notes as it gets later. It's harder for me to remember things. So yes. So all right. Well, to our late joiners, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. See, wow, Peter Galbert, thank you. COC Design, thank you. Y'all are just amazing, huge fans. So many names I recognize here. Thank y'all very much for joining. And until next week. And again, if you have any updates or anything that you just want to chat about or you would like to see featured, get in touch. I'm pretty friendly. So I'd love to hear from you. And also, like I said earlier, I want to hear how your business is doing, what kind of decisions you're making. If you're a woodworking student, I'm interested in writing a little bit more about how this shutdown is pretty much affecting everyone throughout the craft, from students, hobbyists, all the way to professionals. I'm just really interested in that. So, all right. Well, until next week, thank you so much. Take care.